You'll be doing in CAD drawings. Here's a copy of the table of contents attached to the CAD file. Is called top filter will be the next one. Top filter is a metric one, so it's going to appear larger on the draw space because the units would be larger numbers. I'm going to go ahead and go to Insert and Attach and change it to Image Files, and then put in top filter. As I said, this one will be quite a bit larger than the checkerboard. As you can see here, it's going to be a polygon. In fact, it's a 12-sided polygon that is 180 millimeters across the diameter this way. I'm going to go ahead and start making that using a tool in Home. Pull this open here, and you'll see this pentagon here. This is the regular polygon tool. Click on that and type the number of sides. So I just type 12 since it's a 12-sided polygon. Then specify where you want the center of the polygon to be made. This tool works by creating the polygon either inside of a circle or outside of the circle. So that's why I had to specify the center. Now it's asking if you want the polygon to be inscribed or circumscribed. The default is usually inscribed, and what that means is that the polygon would fit so that each corner of the polygon would touch the edge of the circle. However, most cases when you do a regular polygon, you want it to be circumscribed, meaning that the circle would fit inside and be tangent to each side of the polygon. For example, if we were making the head of a bolt, a hexagon, we would need to know the diameter across the flats, and that's a good indicator that it needs to be circumscribed. And if you look at this dimension right here, it says 180, and it's across the flats of the polygon and not across the corners. So anytime you see that dimension across the flats, then indicate that it's a circumscribed polygon. Alright, so as you can see now, it is making a 12-sided regular polygon. And now we need to type in, since we're kind of stretching it like a circle, type in the radius. So if the diameter is 180, the radius would be 90. So I'm going to type in 90 and then hit enter. So there is the regular polygon that makes up the outside. I'm going to go ahead to this tool here called Centerline and find Centerline Cross. With Centerline Cross active, I'm going to make sure, right-clicking on my object snaps, make sure that I have midpoint active, and it is right now because we used it on the last drawing. Once that's the case, I'm going to hover over the midpoint at the top here until it says midpoint. Then I'm going to hover over the midpoint here on the side until it says midpoint. Then I'm going to move my cursor to the point where they would intersect. As you can see, the green dashed line, kind of like laser beams coming out of the cursor, indicate that it is tracked in and locked into those 2 points. Again, that is a function called O-tracking. I'll click there. Notice now it is stretching out a center line from the center of the polygon, and I'm just going to click on the outside edge. It has already made it, automatically made it so that it extends outside. Okay, a little hard to see the center line pattern, and that's due to the line type scale. I'll go ahead and select those two, and I'll type LTS, which stands for line type scale, and I'll go 1/2 of the plot scale. This particular thing is in millimeters. There are 25.4 millimeters per inch, and so 1/2 of 25.4. I'm going to go ahead and, since half of 25.4 would be anywhere between 12 and 13, I'm just going to type 12 and hit enter. Notice what it did is it multiplied the line type scale times 12, so now you can see the center line pattern in the center line. Okay. Once that's there, let's go ahead and make this regular polygon, this square in the center of the polygon. I'm going to look up here and pull this down. Notice there are several ways we can create rectangles, and if you look here, on this version of CAD, we have the ability to create a square from its center. Notice how when I hover over the tool, it pops up a tooltip and tells me how to use it. I'm going to click on this because this seems to be the perfect tool. This seems to be the perfect tool for the job. So I'm going to click in that center. Notice now when I stretch the cursor out, it starts making the polygon. Let's go ahead and type in the distance across the flats, which is 40. And there's the 40 millimeter square in the middle. Alright, I need to make this circle, which makes up the centers of all of these circles that are located around the middle. Alright, so this diameter should be 120 millimeters. I'm going to grab the tool for circle, start it in the center. Alright, I could simply take 120 and divide it by 2 to be 60, but I just want to show you how to use this. If you don't want to do the math, you type D, enter for diameter, and then you type in the diameter, in this case 120. And there's my circle, diameter of 120, that will be used to construct these circles. Whenever you use some geometry to define the center of circles, it must fall on the center line layer unless it is an object. So with that circle selected, I'm going to pull down my layers and click on center. The color is different, don't worry about that, but what's important about it is the pattern, the dash pattern. Alright, looking here at the notations, it looks like we have a diameter of 20 for these little holes, and we have 8 of them equally spaced. Strategically, I'm going to make the top one because I have an intersection here to make it about. I'm going to click here, start dragging the circle, type D, enter, and 20, enter, or you can put a radius of 10, it doesn't matter, to make the first circle. Now I'm going to use a tool called Array. If you look up here, we used it for the checkerboard earlier. The Array tool here is the rectangular array tool. We need to select the polar array. So by dragging that, or clicking and opening that up, select polar array. Now it's asking us to select the object to array, which is that. Now I'm going to right click to stop selecting or hit space. Now it's asking me to select the center of my array. The center would be the center of this circle here. Now it starts creating a pattern. It's incorrectly done. As it says in the note here, we need 8 of them, and right now we have only 6. If you look in this table up here, you'll notice it says 6 items. I'm going to highlight that 6 and change that number to 8. Hit enter. Doing so automatically equally spaces them as required around the center of that circle. I'm going to hit enter. Alright, so as far as the object top filter, we are done. We need to now dimension it. Going to go grab power dimension, and let's dimension this square here. I'm going to go ahead and put it on top of the picture. I'll move the picture later. I need to dimension the outside here. Don't worry about the fact that we can't see the numbers and arrowheads in the dimension yet. They're too small. We'll fix that later. I need the diameter of this circle. I'll go back to home and pull this down and select diameter. And then place that dimension there. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I need to dimension the diameter of this circle here. Place it. Alright, this one needs some text with it, and this time we'll spell the word holes correctly with only one L. It needs to say 8 holes equally spaced. All you have to do is double click on that text, hit the right arrow on the keyboard, hit space, and then type what you need. Make sure you use the cap locks Anytime you do your lettering in AutoCAD or in drafting, you use capital letters. Alright, so now that's all there. At this point, I'm going to scale everything so that we can see it. Kind of like we had to do with the line type to see the dash pattern, we need to scale up the dimensions. So selecting all of the dimensions just by simply clicking on them, I'm going to right click and go to Properties. That's going to bring up this menu. Scroll down the menu by pulling this down until you find the section that says Fit. In the Fit section, see where it says Dim Scale Overall, and it says 1.00. Alright, change that number to 12. And then hit Enter, hit Escape at that point, and that made now all of the numbers and arrows bigger. That's what that, multiplying them by 12 basically. I'm going to click on the picture and delete it because I don't need it anymore. Answer yes here, and then save my file. Once again, we're doing all of these drawings on the same file called CAD Drawings. Thank you very much.